Welcome to Weddings Unveiled, the podcast designed to help you build a productive, profitable wedding or event business. Here's your host, Angela Profit.
Hi y'all, it's Angela Profit, your event and productivity therapist, coming to you from the heart of Music City in Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Weddings Unveiled, professional tips and secrets on wedding planning and event design, where we take you behind the scenes of our past experiences in the wedding industry, what we have learned from them, and how they have made us stronger. This podcast will help you grow a productive and profitable business to launch you into success within the hospitality industry. Today, I'm joined by the best communications and event consultant in the business, Alison.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for having me on, Angela. I'm so excited to share some of our past experiences together. We've definitely been through some unique situations over the years. What are we discussing today?
Well, today's tip is going to be about bands. And just because you hire an awesome band does not mean that you are getting an awesome MC. So MCs stand for Master of Ceremonies, which typically they announce everything so that the guests know what's coming up.
Well, tell us all the story. What happened this time?
Well, this client hired a very well-known band, not just in Nashville, but they travel. And in fact, this band they've been around forever, in my opinion, because they actually played fraternity parties when I went to UT when I was in college years ago. And several years ago, one of the former president's daughters got married, and they played that wedding. So I think after that wedding, their prices raised, and it just raised the bar so much for bands in Nashville. And I will say, they are a great, entertaining band. Some of them change costumes, and they do a great job at entertaining. But at a wedding, it's not all about the band. Now, yes, it's important that you have amazing entertainment, but there's some other things that come along with that. So, for example, this client wanted a special song to be played, not sung, but played for each and every couple that came in. And gosh, I think they had like 14 bridesmaids and groomsmen. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. It was a very large wedding party. And so we always like to try to talk to the lead the lead who is leading the band. Usually the band leader is the MC, not always, but we typically try to meet with that person a couple weeks before the wedding to go through the timeline, the expectations, make sure that we're all on the same page and we know when the band's going to play, and if they take breaks, who's providing a song list for that, and will they control that from their iPod or their iPhone, or does my client want to provide the iPhone, which we typically try to not do that. We try to encourage the band to take care of all the music, all the sound, all the microphones, etc. And so this band had an agent, and the agent didn't come to our final meeting. And we did go through the timeline. We went through phonetically how to pronounce all the bridesmaids and groomsmen's names, because some of the last names are a little bit awkward in pronouncing. We went through the songs. We went through what they were going to provide, what we were going to provide. And I felt really good about it. I thought it would be fine. And then we get to the wedding day, and as one of my team members is lining up the large wedding party, I'm up by the band talking to the sound person who is supposed to be playing all these specific songs, and I'm walking through the directions with him, and he's like, I never got your timeline. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have any of these songs preloaded. I was just kind of like, great, we're not prepared at all. And so I radioed one of my team members, and it just so happened that the client had, I believe it was like an iPad mini that had all the songs on there. And so she quickly got that, brought it up to me. We plugged it in, but we didn't really have a sound check through all this. So it was, there were like sounds here and there, like when you were unplugging it and plugging it in. The songs were not in order. They were all on the same playlist, but we had to search for them. And so we had to quickly make a playlist. Thank God I know kind of what I'm doing when it comes to that, because the sound person had no clue. He was extremely disgruntled. He had every right to be, because apparently the agent never communicated to him the timeline or what was happening. So then I go up to the band leader and prep him just to make sure that he can announce all the names appropriately. And again, I had them phonetically in there, and he looked at me and said, "I'm not doing that. We're here to perform." And I'm like, well, the bride and groom want all the wedding party announced to a specific song, if you could say their names. And then we're going to go into the first dance, the father-daughter dance, the mother-son dance, and typically band leaders announce these things. And he was not happy with me. He was not happy that he was having to announce all of these things. So I was fully prepared to have to do it myself, and I pretty much said to him, well, if you're not going to do it, then I guess I will. And he looked at me and gave me this look like, all right, sister, I guess I'll do it. But it was with zero enthusiasm. He didn't get the names correct. It was just really embarrassing, like the energy that the bride expected from this band and all the fun different songs, like it just didn't happen. We did the best that we could, and the bride knew that it wasn't our fault. But again, like just going back now that when we work with this band, because we do still work with them, they're an awesome band when it's all about them. But we encourage our clients when they hire this band to please hire an MC, like someone who sounds professional over the microphone, someone who can get all the guest attention and really focus on the wedding part of it.
Awesome. Well, that was a very interesting story, and I think that we all learned a lot. What would you say your biggest takeaway was from that day?
I would say just because you've seen a band in another setting, which is what happened with this client, it doesn't mean that they know how to run a wedding or operate behind the scenes in a positive way to find a solution. And they weren't very flexible. So again, make sure that you're talking to the right person that's going to be in charge of announcing everything, and don't always count on the band leader.
Yeah, that's definitely a great tip. Can you share with our listeners some of the different products and resources that we have available to help wedding and event planners?
Yes, you can visit our blog on our website at angelaprofit.com. We always have great articles and resources available there. You can also sign up for email updates, where we only share certain tips and resources through our emails. We also have free webinars with various subjects that we do, and we have several live events coming up this year. So be sure to tune in to our social media to watch for information on that.
Awesome. Well, Angela, thank you for sharing all of your valuable advice with us today. I can't wait for next week to tell more of our incredible stories together.
And thank you, Alison, for joining me. And thank you so much to our listeners for joining us today on Weddings Unveiled, professional tips and secrets on wedding planning and event design. Tune in next week to learn more from our past experiences. And if you found this podcast helpful, please share it with other wedding and event professionals. Be sure to subscribe today so you never miss the juicy details of Weddings Unveiled. I'm so passionate about helping other event professionals, and with my background in psychology, I appreciate that our best selves develop from real-life situations that we're sharing with you on this podcast. Thank you so much for listening again. Be sure to tune in next week for more tips on how to grow your business. If you have a question or unresolved issue that you would like guidance on, connect with us at angelaprofit.com. And until next time, remember to stay productive and profitable.
You've been listening to Weddings Unveiled with Angela Profit. Join us next time for more insights to help you build a productive, profitable wedding or event business. For more great resources, head over to angelaprofit.com.